Hi guys, my name is Mia Cornelison and this is my impromptu speech. I chose to research Miller's Law. The Miller's Law is how much information you can hold in your immediate memory, in your immediate judgment, and the Miller's Law states that you can hold 7 pieces of information plus or minus 2 at a time. So what that basically means is when you are taking something in or receiving information, you, in your immediate memory, can hold 7 pieces of information. It could be 5, it could be 9, it depends, anywhere from 5 to 9, but it's typically 7 is the magic number due to the Miller's Law. So basically, the Miller's Law has 3 main types of things. The first one that I'm choosing to talk about is chunking. So chunking in the Miller's Law is when you group certain things that are meaningful to your memory in pieces to overall remember more. For example, the second piece of information is a phone number. So when you're remembering a phone number, it's 10 digits, but you remember them a chunk of 3, a chunk of 3, and a chunk of 4, because you can remember each 3, 3, and 4 compared to all 10 at once. So, and when you read a phone number, you say it in, like when you are taking it in, you think of it as in chunks, and when you're speaking it as well, you read it as chunks. That's just how the Miller's Law works. When you chunk information, it helps you remember a lot more than if you just try to remember the whole thing. And then the second thing is how the Miller's Law is used. So you can use it in many different ways. Phone numbers was just one example. Another one that is mostly used is you'll see it in magazines and news articles. There's a title, that's one chunk. There's a brief explanation, overview, summary, that's another chunk. And then the whole drawn out information is third chunk. So when you read a title, you're going to remember that more, and then when you read the second one, it's chunked, so you are more likely to remember the overview of the article just by reading the little chunk, and compared to the whole article, you're more likely to remember those little tiny pieces. So articles and phone numbers, and then another way was essays or research papers. When you bullet point things or you put things in different categories, instead of just reading a 10-page essay with no kind of separation, it's just one big flow, you are a lot less likely to remember compared to as if you chunk things in different different categories. You're way more likely to remember each one, because you can say, oh, I remember A, B, C, and D, compared to just 10 pages of information. And my third topic was why chunking is used. So due to the Miller's Law, chunking helps you remember is I can remember 5 pieces of information in 3 different chunks. So if I'm trying to remember the recipe to brownies and the recipe to muffins that I'm making at the same time, it could be there's 5 things in muffins and there's 5 things in brownies. If I separate those and put them into chunks, I'm going to remember them a lot more than, oh, I'm baking today, what do I need to put in this? So yeah, that's kind of the Miller's Law broken down into mainly chunking, but how the chunking is put into different resources and why it's used, how it's used, and how it relates to Miller's Law. So yeah, in conclusion, I'd say that the Miller's Law is a very effective thing to remember, and with chunking as well, that sometimes we do it without even thinking. But that's also why I think that the 7 plus or minus is also a very great point as well, because everyone's different and everyone remembers things differently on their own. So yeah, that's kind of the rundown of Miller's Law, how everything works. Thank you for listening,